Hello, my name is Simon Owens, and this is my regular tech and media vlog. Today I wanted to talk about online video streaming. It's nothing new to say that the TV industry has been shifting. I mean, Netflix has had its streaming functionality available for years. There's been Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO launching its own app. It's nothing mind-blowing to say that the traditional cable TV system has been it's slowly but surely uprooted over the last decade or so. But that being said, the traditional TV industry has still remained mostly resilient. If you look at what happened with the music industry and the newspaper industry, like the music industry was completely disrupted by the internet, as early as the late 90s with the founding of Napster and the rise of file sharing. It was something that it just hit very early on in the internet's history. It really just kind of decimated an entire entertainment industry, and it was a little bit delayed the mid 2000s, the mid aughts, when the newspaper industry suffered the same fate with the rise of Craigslist, the decline in print subscribers, the trading in print advertising dollars for online digital pennies, and kind of like that mass hemorrhaging of revenue and layoffs. But the same hasn't really happened for the TV industry yet. Lots of analysts have pointed out that the massive, billions, tens of billions of dollars each year that are spent in TV advertising really have stayed there because TV is one of those few remaining mass market mediums that have very high value impressions, in which major brand like Fortune 100 brands can really achieve the kind of scale that you can't really get anywhere else. And because of that, the industry has still mainly been shielded by the internet. Although obviously there have been plenty of competitors that have sprouted up and have gained some real traction. But we've seen lots of moves just in the last month that might indicate that the TV industry, the traditional TV, cable, Comcast, network TV, that industry is really going to see some major shifts in the next year or so that are going to basically put it in a completely different new ball field, and it'll be basically having to compete on this completely new paradigm. So what are some of those moves? First, the big news that Disney is pulling almost all of its IP from Netflix, and that it's also going to be launching a standalone ESPN streaming app. And this ESPN app has been kind of like this mythical thing that we've talked about in years, almost as long as we've been talking about a standalone HBO app. And there's been all this kind of question of what it would really do. Would it cannibalize its lucrative cable subscribers? Would the Comcast and Time Warners revolt against it? And would it really be able to make up for any revenue loss from cord cutters? One of the not very well kept secrets is that cable subscribers, whether you're a sports fan or not, have heavily subsidized ESPN because it gets the largest cable fees, upwards of $8 for every cable subscriber, and there was no way for you to opt out. And I've seen some analysis that said that in order for ESPN to pull in the same amount of subscription revenue, but only from actual watchers of ESPN, each subscriber would have to pay upwards of $50 a month. So we're finally going to get to see this experiment happen in real time, to see if ESPN can kind of stem some of those losses that they're seeing from cord cutters. Part of watching this shift, especially in terms of ad dollars, is longtime stalwart online video stalwart YouTube trying to suck in some of that advertising, and now with Facebook has had video offerings for years, but now they really in the last month or two have really kind of been pulling together their video strategy, specifically from an advertising standpoint, launching its Watch tab which is going to be supposedly have TV quality online video available on Facebook, where they're actually doling out money for that. And they just launched a specific mid-roll advertising unit that will show in the middle of videos longer than a few minutes. And this is where we're going to really truly see if they can convince ad buyers who are already spending money on TV to then move some of those ad budgets to online video. And of course, Facebook has pretty mass distribution, with lots of their videos getting over several million views, which compared to a lot of cable TV shows have equal to or even greater audience. And there are some indications from studies that these mid-roll ads on Facebook have as high as a 70% watch rate, which is much higher than a standalone video ad that was traditionally bought as a promoted post. So that has a lot of potential to really kind of I think disrupt the TV advertising network. We just saw that YouTube TV, which is kind of like a skinny bundle package that YouTube is doing, they're launching in local markets, which is when you talk about OTT networks, over the top networks like Netflix and stuff. One of their weaknesses is they haven't had local news, they haven't had local sports. And same thing with like Hulu. So this is going to be like one of the very first instances where a OTT, over the internet streaming service, actually has some local programming. So we're going to see if they can really kind of take a chunk out of that local cable market. Apple is now getting ready to spend over $1 billion on original content. This was just announced in the Wall Street Journal. So another major player that's been waiting to kind of wade in, and obviously they have a huge war chest in terms of money that they could spend and creating these online resources, or these online original IP and shows. So I think like whatever shift that's been imminent for years is finally happening and accelerating. And I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see some of those headlines that we saw, in the late 90s and for the music industry in the mid 2000s with the newspaper industry. And we're really going to see the effects that have kind of been amassing over the years with the rise of Netflix, with the decrease in cable subscribers. I think that now a lot of these cable TV networks that have relied on kind of the cash cow of the bundle are now going to have to be launching their own apps and kind of swim in their own lanes and make or break it. So you're going to see lots of shifts. You're going to see new players entering the market, and I suspect you're going to see a lot of these kind of top of the dial TV shows and cable networks, many of you've never even heard of or even really looked at, failing and kind of declaring bankruptcy or getting sold off and stuff like that. So yes, the shift from traditional TV to streaming has been happening for over a decade, but I think we've really hit the tipping point just within this year, and we're going to see it now accelerate over the next year. Thanks for watching.